Hello there. It's been a while since I've done anything like this. Instagram changed their live policy on me to where you have to have 1,000 followers or more to go live, and I really don't have a whole lot of followers. Mostly just people I've met in person. I could have more followers. I get a lot of spam accounts that love to add me. So I'm thinking about just using that to my advantage so I can start going live again. But, I don't know. Do I really need to go live if it's not a real following? I think the last time I had any sort of video going was probably before my birthday last month. Might have been last year. Lately I've been spending a lot of time alone, just working, going to a coffee shop, occasionally hanging out with some friends. But mostly just spending time alone and thinking about things and dwelling on the past. And I don't know, I feel like there's a few things that I should maybe talk about. That I'd really like to talk about anyway. I don't know if I should talk about them or not, but I'd really like to. I've been sober for a while. I made that a goal last year to become completely sober. And, I went into this year knowing that I wouldn't be doing anything this year beyond caffeine, and natural caffeine at that. But I knew that I wouldn't be doing anything this year. That was my goal last year. I quit everything last year. And I've been on almost everything, every type of drug you can think of, whether that was a dissociative, an opioid, a serotonin agonist, whatever. I've tried it. I've enjoyed it. And, I tried to get what I needed out of it. Mostly went toward them for nootropic benefits. And if I didn't find nootropic benefits to my liking, I didn't keep doing them. Some of them, it took me time. Weed was one of them that was weird because I was trying to understand the experience too much while I did it. The more and more that I did it, and the more that I did the opioids, I did kratom, the more and more I started to understand over the years that these type of drugs make me a little bit schizo. And they make me a version of myself that I don't like, a version of myself that I get frustrated with things that I do all the time. And I just didn't feel like it was healthy to be that introspective. Quitting it is something I wanted to do a long time ago. Probably around the time that my ex had left me. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about that because obviously those who know me know that I acted very poorly toward that whole situation. I became very self-destructive and it just wasn't healthy. Over apologized and all kinds of stuff, but it was a mess. But it was around the time that she left me, I kind of went down the rabbit hole with a lot more things. Even though I had the goal to quit everything. It's almost like I was trying to prove a point, I guess. And somehow in my mind I was like, oh, I'm gonna use this as leverage. And you're gonna come back or else I'm not gonna quit. Which, I would have quit everything cold turkey, had she come back and talk to me, but she never did. And one thing led to another, and I just kept going. But yeah, in my mind, I felt like I was going to use that as leverage, which, looking back at it in retrospect, it's pretty manipulative to do that. But I didn't know that at the time. That's something that I had to learn over time from studying logic fallacies a little bit and understanding myself a little bit more after I got sober. But yeah, I waited until I severed every single connection I had left to her and everything to finally go and quit everything cold turkey. No rehab, no type of substitutions or drugs to help me quit, which some doctors had already tried to prescribe me some stuff, but they didn't really give me side effect information and tell me that I had to quit everything else. I had to find that out myself after I was already consuming these items, and I was like, what do you mean I can have a seizure from taking this medication while doing this? I'm like, I'm already doing it. I combined it. Am I going to die today? So, yeah. I threw the prescriptions away. I was like, fuck this. I'm not taking this anymore. And went and had fun with alcohol and weed and kratom and kava and other psychedelics, shrooms, acid, ketamine, DMT, whatever. I was doing it and everything. But I knew I wasn't gonna die from doing it. Now the alcohol, on the other hand, that started to get a little bit scary. Started to have some like exoskeletal muscular issues. That's probably the wrong name for it, but yeah, I started having some weird issues with alcohol, but I kept going. And I didn't really realize what was going on until somebody educated me a little bit more about what alcohol does to your bones. But yeah, I came to the decision, after I'd finally severed every connection I had left to her. I had to weigh out all those connections and everything. Because I was holding on to something, just hoping that she'd come back. And it took me years to accept that she was not coming back. But there was nothing to hold on to. And it was going to be either she came back and I quit everything cold turkey, or I weaned myself off of her and then quit everything cold turkey. How does that make sense? I have no clue. It really doesn't. But that's how my brain decided to work. So I did. I quit everything. I didn't find the person I was looking for, I guess, while I was suicidal after she left either, and that's upsetting, but I quit everything because I love myself way more than I love anybody else. But it would have been nice to love somebody else. Just enough. What my ex did for me, she came to me at a time when I was very suicidal and kind of teeter-tottering between fight or flight response really badly. And I had told her what I had planned to do, and she hugged me and was in tears and held me tight and told me to don't ever think like that again. And she just kind of let me know that everything's okay and you're a good person. And I wish that after she had left me, somebody else would have did that for me and made me feel that way again. But I never found that person. And I'm probably lucky to be here with some of my attempts that I've had in the past. I don't feel that way anymore. It's something I've grown past. But I really wish I would have found somebody who felt that way and wanted me to be here. And that's part of the reason why I fell back into that after she left, is because she was the one thing that made me feel that way that nobody else had ever made me feel. And I think that's a big part of why I don't feel the same around friends, why I'm socially awkward, why I don't feel like I belong, because I've never found any type of friend or friend group who felt that way about me again. And I'm scared to let myself get that close as well. I'm glad that I quit everything though, and I'm glad I'm past that and over those days. But it definitely gets lonely all the time. Feels lonely, which I've learned to be content with. I don't mind the loneliness because I know that the friends that I do have actually want to be in my life, even if they don't feel close to me like she did or any of my former friends did. Even if I don't feel close to them in the same sense, I know that they actually want to be in my life. And I know that they're the type of friends who can actually discern truth. And that's a really big deal to me. You have to be able to discern truth within this world that we live in now. And I knew that this world was coming years ahead of time, and I really tried to get that point across by making up all kinds of rumors about myself, making myself look crazy in various different senses. And I tried to do it for the sake of a fictional character that I was wanting to play, and I think that the drugs really helped me solidify that. And also, after she left, I definitely used that to my advantage because people liked the crazy things that I was saying. It was the most attention that I had gotten for anything related to my music, is when I was saying crazy stuff about my ex or my past relationship or the friends that were no longer talking to me. And I was thriving off of that type of attention that I had never gotten, regardless if it was hurting them. There was a part of me deep down that felt like if they're my friends, they'll definitely understand. They're not going to hold this against me. And I think a lot of them did, unfortunately. But it's not that I meant to hurt anybody's feelings. It's more along the lines of thought they understood and I thought they could handle it, but I was wrong for that. It is what it is. I've said my apologies best I could, but I can't undo it, so it is what it is. The friends that I have in my life now, I love them. You know, they're people who have told me they are proud of me for my sobriety. Anytime I've tried to quit things in the past, you know, I didn't have people who were proud of me or cheering me on, but now I see people who actually are happy for me. You know, had I gotten married or had a child or something, I would have quit everything too. And that's probably my biggest regret in life, is that I didn't get married before the age of 30. And I didn't have a child before the age of 30. I really wanted just one or the other, and now I'm at a point in life where I don't even know what I want anymore. Do I want to get married? Do I want to have a kid? As of right now, I think I just want to go to college and learn for the rest of my life, and I don't really have goals. My goals kind of went out the window. You know, there were things that I wanted to do, but I wanted to accomplish them before the age of 30, or else they just don't feel like they're worth accomplishing to me. And you're worried about what's going to give serotonin release for me? Well, it ain't money. What's going to make me happy in the long run? It's not money. I mean, money'd be nice to get an actual place to live of my own. But even then, I don't feel like a place to live of my own is truly going to make me happy unless I have somebody to live with. You know, I wanted to do this all before 30, and now it just feels pointless. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of people my age who can relate to me that are on the same intelligence level as me, or have the same types of goals that I have, or the same intentions that I have, and that's part of what hurts the most. Anybody who can relate to me is probably socially awkward themselves, or they're just not attractive to me. I also know a lot about anti-aging and staying young. I follow a Blue Zones diet. But I think I'm gonna go back to school, and that's kind of my goals right now. Other than that, I'm just kind of bored with life, not really knowing what I want to do beyond that. I want to go to school. I want to learn more things. I've never stopped learning. I've learned something new every single day of my life. I've made that just a regular goal to go out and learn something new every single day. I didn't always express that to other people though, but I have learned something new every single day because I'm addicted to learning. It's my number one addiction, and I don't plan on partying with it. I'd like a job maybe a long-term job of teaching others to be more intelligent as well. teach others something new all the time. Maybe not directly, I don't know if I'd be a good teacher, but just doing something with my life to where I can help others learn to an extent. I think that'd be peaceful for me. Now, if I had somebody to wake up next to that I could teach something new all the time, that'd be cool too. But I don't know that many people who are insatiable with knowledge. I don't know how to connect with people. I'm not a huge fan of online dating. All you get is spam accounts out there. Fake people, fake people, fake people. And if you don't get fake people, you get judgmental people. And that hurts even more. But I guess that's how all the dating companies make their money, right? Dating apps are designed to bring you back in. You pay for the dating app, you meet somebody. The algorithm determines it's a great match, but definitely won't work out. But it doesn't tell you that. It just lets you believe that it's a great match. It seems like one for a while, and then it falls apart. And then you're back again. And the vicious cycle repeats. Because you're locked into an algorithm thinking that it's the best way to find somebody. Which it could be. You know, there's some dating apps that are rather good at things. I've heard Hinge is designed to be deleted, but I don't know about all that either. It seems like maybe if Hinge were like Bumble, where the female chooses, it'd be a little bit different. I feel like there's more male players out there than there are female players, but there's definitely some female players too, so it does go both ways. But I do believe that algorithms can be designed to do good as well. But if they were, they wouldn't be profitable. So that's the tricky part. It would take somebody who just cares an awful lot to design a dating app for it to actually work. So I don't trust dating apps. And socially, I'm just really awkward at talking to people that I don't know. Just doesn't work online. Now, if I meet somebody in person, you know, when I'm out and about, that's another story. But they have to initiate conversation with me first, and then I get to know them. I think the best way that I've met people in the past is through mutual friends. You know, friends introduce me to somebody, and that's how it goes, but I don't think that's gonna work for me either, because my friend group is like very tight, and I like it being a tight friend group, but at the same time, I don't get to see them as often or spend time with people as often, because if I'm not working, half the time they are, or they just don't want to do anything. I'm like, well, maybe I'm boring. And that's a possibility. I could be pretty boring. You know, especially when I haven't gotten out much in the past few years outside of a kava bar. You know, we're talking the past 6 or 7 years, going to a kava bar, afraid to do anything because I was caught up in my own anxiety and paranoia, afraid to do anything by myself or plan something and invite people that I was still getting to know. Like I said, it made me a little bit schizo, but I have ideas of things I'd like to do and everything, but back living paycheck to paycheck again, saving money from the round up again, because I imploded my life. I think the one thing that I really wish that I would have been taught a long time ago that could have avoided all of this, and probably would have avoided my self-destruction, probably would have avoided me reacting the way that I did, you know, when people stopped talking to me, and would have avoided me saying a lot of the things that I said that I regret. One thing is don't waste your time trying to explain yourself to people who have already made up their minds that you're a bad person. Because regardless of how you change over time, or what you become, or what life you're living, because everybody changes over time, we all live many lives throughout our one lifetime. You're not the same person you used to be. Nobody is. We all change. So, yeah, I would say don't waste your time trying to explain yourself to people who have already made up their mind that you're a bad person. Because as you change over time, even as you give new explanation and try to give understanding, their mind's not going to change. They've already made up their mind about you regardless of who you become. That's their job to change their perception, not yours. So, for real, don't waste your time trying to explain yourself to people that have already made up their mind that you are a bad person, because they will never see otherwise no matter what. I wish I would have learned that a long time ago. So, I know I'm rambling, but wanted to get a few things off my chest and leave you with that. Nice little bit of advice that I hope can help you. I wish everybody that I've known over the years the best. You know, I wish them great understanding. I wish them happy lives. You know, in the past I said a lot of things that I don't mean, but these are things that I actually mean. I want as many people to be happy as possible, because that's what creates a better world. You know, I don't want anybody to be upset. I don't believe in vengeance. You know, it was a vibe that I owned for a while, and most of it was just attention seeking. But now I have very little attention. I have a very small following, very small. And most of them don't even talk to me anymore, as far as the people who follow me. Most of them won't even see this. But I wish everyone the best. And if you don't have happiness right now, I hope that you find it.